Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism, here to talk to you more about the occult and the paranormal. Well, today I'm going to be talking about a subject that I've talked about before. I've done videos on love magic before, and I'm going to do one today on titled "Were You the Victim of Seduction Magic?" And when I'm talking about seduction magic, I'm talking about it as it's encompassing love magic and sex magic. I don't mean use of sex to do magic, but magic to have like a sexual encounter. I'm calling that seduction magic because this is a form. All of it is a form of emotional and psychological seduction and the use of magic. So this is, make no mistake, is a form of influence to shape another's thoughts and feelings toward an amorous end. So now that I've kind of defined it, let's jump right in. So, what would be the signs that you were the victim of seduction magic? One would be increasing loving, passionate thoughts about a specific person, especially if this was someone who, in the recent past, you disliked or was completely indifferent, where you didn't care about them either way. Then all of a sudden, bam, there's a shift. Even though that person is probably not even your type, because I hear this story time and time again. So when we're looking, and I brought this up into the psychic and the psychic magic, the magical attack video I just did, that what we're looking for when we're talking about did someone do something to you is not that this was just an isolated thing, you just thought about somebody for a day and then it went away. We're looking at what is your baseline, what is your normal pattern of thinking and behaving, and then is there something unusual that's a marked departure from that. And not only something, again, it's a one-off thing, but it starts to become a pattern. Then you have to suspect or at least consider the fact that there is some type of other intervention going on behind the scenes to make this come about. So, again, the increasing loving, passionate thoughts about a specific person. Second would be a kind of a longing and a craving just to spend time with them, to see them. Now again, this is not something anybody could, have these types of thoughts and feelings. But this is kind of, again, this goes along with, this is unusual for this particular person. Also, what I've been hearing a lot and doing research and talking to people is that there is usually a conflict within themselves about this and about this person. It's like, okay, so now I'm starting to have these feelings, and yet there's a part of me that says, this is weird, this isn't right, this is not really the person for you. Maybe the person, on some level, doesn't share your beliefs, your values, or fits into your type, isn't like your other partners. It's just kind of really strange that all of a sudden you're having these thoughts and feelings for the person. You may ask yourself, why am I seeing this person if you're already, started dating them? There's like an inner struggle going on. It isn't like you're feeling really good about this. It feels like there's something off. Next, the person is a practitioner of witchcraft, of magic, has knowledge of the occult. That would be a clue. That would be if the person that we're talking about has this background that raises the risk. And also the person has a history of favoring you. You probably know that, or have heard, or maybe you've had a conversation in the past that they like you, and this is kind of quite a coincidence that when you put that together with the fact that they practice witchcraft, magic, and then all these little things started to happen, then you start to think, is there something going on? Next is that if you indulge them in like a dating or romantic encounter, it doesn't seem to last. And now there's a caveat to this, is that sometimes people do magic and it's one thing, they set something in motion and they just leave it alone. If it's that type of situation, it's likely that the effect is going to wear off and you'll come to your senses. That being said, if this person has a really strong obsession for you, what's going to happen is they could try to keep the working going, and when it starts to wear off and you start to come to your sense of like, hey, why the hell am I with this person, then they might start to get you back or try to get you re-engaged using further interventions to kind of keep you around. So it's a long-term working for them. So those are the main signs. I'm sure that there are others. And let me tell you kind of my opinion about all this, and it's kind of the way that I think about this, and I'm certainly not telling anyone how to do their own personal ethics or to how to think about things. But I always worry about this, especially when you're targeting one specific person with magic especially for this particular topic. And that is, a lot of people who do this, they seem to not care whether the person is compatible with them or not. They kind of, I want what I want and I'm going to do whatever it is, and if it's magic, then I'll go ahead and do it. That's kind of their mindset. So this is quite a gamble for them. They think that somehow they can kind of control all aspects of the person's being and almost make them some type of slave, and everything's going to be wonderful and it's going to work out. But that's usually not the case. If you've chosen someone who's not so good for you and did magic on them, they could go along with it and they can date you and have all these experiences with you. But like I mentioned, if it's not right, they're going to feel it on the inside, and there's going to be tension, there's going to be stress, and that conflict within them is going to spill out into the relationship. And if your partner is stressed, it tends to stress you out, and that's going to put a lot of tension in the relationship. So it doesn't seem like a really good long-term strategy for relationships, because I mean, you can be miserable. I'm talking to the person who's actually casting the magic. You can be miserable, and as a result of your own magic, and you did it, you're responsible. As the old saying goes, you get what you pay for, and you pay for what you get. So there you have it. Okay. So what would be a less harmful or less risky thing to do? And I'm not suggesting this, but I think it's better than what I was just speaking to you about. What if the magician, was interested in somebody and they wanted to create a state of receptivity in that person, maybe openness to have a conversation, maybe go on a first date, and they did a working for that. Not a lot of investment, they just want to get their foot in the door. That magician, theoretically, what they could do is to, if the magic worked, they could find out information about them a little bit, see if they are compatible, what they like, what their common interests are. If they were less interested in a long-term relationship, they want things like kids and all that type of stuff, and do it as soon as they can upon engaging them. And then if they find out that the person doesn't share those things, then they can say, well, that person's not for me, and they can abandon all further efforts with the magic. let's say that it does seem a good match. Maybe they did get lucky and this is a good person for them. Still, they need to abandon the magic, in my opinion, because what should happen there is, now that you're in the relationship and the chemistry between you should further things along, and then let the relationship evolve as it's meant to be. And that way, you no longer have to spend time and energy trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Now, if you wanted to ask me what the best scenario was, if you are kind of attached to doing magic for this type of purpose, the best thing to do would be to do magic to work on you, your inner self. Do magic to make you yourself more charismatic, to make yourself more sexy, smooth out your flaws. You do a working so that you can accelerate your relationship and communication skills. These are the types of things that, if you can do them, it will make you very attractive to people, and you can engage them, and then you can sort out who you want that way. So anyway, these are my thoughts. What do you think? By the way, I am looking for potential topics for these videos, so I want to ask you all, since I don't ask probably enough, what do you want to see? So if you want to put some comments and put some comments about the subjects that you want to see, and if you're scrolling through and you see somebody who commented on the topic you want, just like it, and I will pick the ones that tend to be the most popular, and we'll go from there. All right, please subscribe and like, and I will talk to you in a future video. Thanks a lot.